Olá, sejam muito bem-vindos ao webinar do Viva-Mundo. Meu nome é Fernanda e eu estarei acompanhando vocês no webinar de hoje. Um pouquinho sobre o Viva-Mundo, ele é um site que existe para ajudar os estudantes com informações e detalhes necessários para estudar no exterior. Destinos, tipos de curso, detalhes de inscrição, informação sobre vistos e dicas de estilo de vida. O Viva-Mundo tem tudo que você precisa para seus estudos no exterior. Neste webinar de hoje, teremos a Shani Pearson. Ela é membro do Departamento de Marketing e Recrutamento Internacional da BI Norwegian Business School, e também os estudantes brasileiros da BI, o Eduardo e a Amanda. O tema deste webinar será Obtenha novas perspectivas, estude na Noruega, ou Get Fresh Perspectives, Study in Norway. Esse seminário será ministrado em português e em inglês e também em português, com alguns depoimentos dos alunos. Se vocês tiverem algumas dúvidas durante a apresentação, por favor, coloque na caixa de perguntas, no Q&A box, que fica no menu abaixo da sua tela, e a Shani responderá todas as perguntas no final da apresentação. I'll hand it over to you now, Shani.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And welcome, and thank you for joining us. And thank you for coming to hear more about BI Norwegian Business School and studying in Norway. I've been saving this until this evening. A little taste of Brazil that you can get here in Norway. I'll have it a little while later after I finish presenting a little bit about our school. It's been a real pleasure for us to be working in Brazil the last couple of years. We've recruited some really good students from there. The quality of the students is really high. For me personally, there's been a lot of rewards seeing how, because of the connections between Norway and Brazil, you will find Brazilians working here in Norway. You will find Norwegian companies operating in Brazil, such as Equinor, Yada International. There's a company that does horseshoes that's working there as well. There's Kongsberg. There's a lot of Norwegian companies, more than you would think, operating in Norway. So, you know, that we hope that what will happen one day is that Brazilians will come here and be able to work for Norwegian companies working with the Brazilian market, or Brazilian students will come here, learn, go home and work for Norwegian companies in Norway. And we just had a student who graduated recently who's gone back and was working with Equinor. So there are opportunities to take a Norwegian education as a Brazilian, apply it in terms of finding jobs here in Norway, but also being able to take that experience back to Brazil and maybe putting that to work with a Norwegian company back in Brazil. I'm going to now share my screen. I will say though, one thing you might not be aware, but I am not a Norwegian. You might hear that in my own accent. I'm actually from Canada. So I've chose to move here around 7 years ago. So when I talk about some of the benefits of moving to Norway, I'm speaking as someone who's also made a significant move in my lifetime and chosen Norway as my place of residence. So let me just pull up this presentation. Okay, can you see the presentation on the screen now? Can I get a thumbs up from Amanda or Eduardo if that's the case? That's fantastic. Thank you very much. So, you know, why is it not moving? Hang on just a second. Okay. So I'll talk about why Norway, a little bit about why BI Norwegian Business School. We're commonly known as BI. Not BI. Once you're here, we're only known as BI. We have bachelor's programs, master's programs. I'll talk a little bit about practical information, and then Amanda and Eduardo will speak, and then we'll take your questions and be happy to provide as many answers as we can in the next 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so. So why Norway? As I said, I've also made this decision to move from Canada to Norway. For me, the weather has not been as big an adjustment as it would be for many Brazilians, but it is a wonderful place to live with the 4 seasons. It's a very safe place. It's a very stable place, politically stable, very low crime rate. We have small cities, but they're major cities, so they have everything that you would need from a capital city. But for you making a decision about your education, the quality of the education is very high here. BI Norwegian Business School is highly ranked internationally. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So there's high quality education. Many students work part-time, and I know that's always a consideration. It's always one of the questions I get asked by Brazilian students, can I work part-time? And international students can work up to 20 hours a week. It may be difficult in your first semester to land a job, although some have, but then as you go through your program, we do have students working in restaurants, working on campus, working in various retail operations here, but you can work up to 20 hours a week. One of the things that does attract students is the equality in the culture and in the workplace. Women have equal roles here, and there are lots of government programs in place to support women in the workplace, to support men in the workplace. And one of the things that a lot of international students notice is the number of men pushing baby carriages when they're out, because women and men share parental leave of up to a year when a baby is born. And that's part of the commitment to equality here in Norway. There's great work-life balance, and there's a very strong economy. We'll talk a little bit about what salaries graduates can command a little bit later on. The stunning nature is certainly something that attracts people. As you can see behind me, the Northern Lights, and actually the Northern Lights were showing just here in Oslo last Friday and Saturday. And I know a lot of students from Sognsvann, which is one of the student accommodation areas, the students' villages, were up at a local lake taking pictures and in awe of the beautiful, beautiful Northern Lights. The other thing that is I always get asked about is about English. I know that you, coming from Brazil, you've already learned a second language. It might also be your third language to learn English. When you come to Norway, there is a high level of English spoken in the cities of Bergen and Oslo, where we have campuses. Your program will be in English. So you've already learned a second, maybe third language. You don't have to learn Norwegian. We do have classes available for students to take Norwegian. So for example, if one of your goals is to stay in Norway, we recommend that you take those courses in addition to your program. It's something that can help you with your job search if you're looking to stay in Norway on a long-term basis. So there's a lot to offer in terms of why Norway. Just a little bit about Oslo and Bergen. As I said, these are small cities. I've been to Sao Paulo, I've been to Rio, I see how large those cities are. I often joke that when it comes to Norway, there are more cars in Sao Paulo than there are people in the entire country of entire country of Norway. There are somewhat close to 6 million people in Norway. There's more than 6 million cars in Sao Paulo, I'm sure, with all of that traffic. But you don't necessarily see that kind of traffic here in Norway. It's in Oslo and in Bergen. They're spread out cities that are very commuter friendly, good public transportation, affordable public transportation for students. It is on time as well, so you're not, if the bus says it's coming at 12:02, the bus will be there at 12:02. And that is one of the things that's a cultural difference as well that we often hear students from South America talk about when they come here, is that things are very much on time here. There's no, if it's 12:02, it's 12:02. If you're supposed to be somewhere at noon, you need to be there at noon. There's also a lot of green spaces in Oslo and Bergen. It may be a capital city, but there's lots of parks and lots of green spaces and surrounded by nature. In Bergen, they're surrounded by 7 mountains. Here, you're surrounded by a forest that has lots of hiking trails, walking trails, and now in the winter, they're turned into cross-country skiing trails. But the other thing that makes it close to nature is, for example, if you are in Oslo and if you ski, you're only 15 minutes on the public transportation to a ski hill at the top of Oslo. So it's not uncommon to see students go to class during the day, go get their skis, and you see them on the public transportation going up to Tryvann, which is 15-20 minutes from central downtown. Our campus itself is about 15 to 20 minutes on the subway to the downtown center. So very central and lots of amenities, there's lots of restaurants, there's lots of museums, and there's lots of things to do in Oslo, and lots of access to free activities when it comes to nature, if you like nature. Plus we have an international business community. And we have close connections at BI Norwegian Business School with the business community. BI Norwegian Business School, or BI as we are known, it is the #1 business school in Norway, and that's by rankings. We are the top business school as ranked by the Financial Times. We are what's known as a Triple Crown accredited business school. So there's 3 major accreditation bodies for international business education. We have all 3. And what that means is we're in the top 1% of business schools. So there's 15,000 business schools in the world. So when you're trying to make a decision about where to go, this is something that you should be considering. Do these schools have accreditations, international accreditations, so that you can talk about that to potential employers down the road, whether it's in Norway or Brazil, or if you choose another country to take your education to, you were with one of the top 1% of business schools in the world, which means one of the top 100 business schools in the world. We also offer affordable quality education. When we're out talking to students who are exploring international education, they're looking at, I'm from Canada, the US, the UK, if they're looking for an English language destination. There you're looking at 25, 30, 40,000 US dollars for your tuition alone. In what you should be budgeting, or what we recommend you budget in Norway, is 25,000 to 30,000 per year, and that will cover your tuition and your living expenses. Of course, at the beginning, you'll have a little bit of a sticker shock when you see the price of a guaraná in the grocery store. We have a tax on sugar, anything that's sugared. But when you look at the overall price in terms of your affordable housing options, we also guarantee student housing for international students. When you see the affordability of public transportation, and when you get used to the pricing and you look at the overall package, we have an affordable investment for you in international education, an affordable option if you are comparing us to other destinations. If you're going to live in London, you would not find something at that same price for your tuition or even for your living expenses. And as I said, rankings are very important. Here are some key rankings that put up related to our programs and related to our school. The top European business schools were considered number 49, but that puts us at and that's out of 80 business schools, and that puts us as the #1 business school here in Norway. As you can see, we also have very good rankings for many of our MSc programs, our Master Science programs as well. So those are things that you should be considering when you're looking at selecting a business school. We're quite an international school. We have, right now, we have 20 Brazilians, and the Brazilians have been in the top 10 of our international students. We generally have about 350 new international students join us every year for full-time programs. Then we also have exchange students, and so we can have as many as 700 exchange students annually. But right now we have 20 Brazilians in their first, second, and third year of the bachelor, the first, second year of the master, and then we also have 2 who are taking the PhD program here at BI. So we're international, and we have well-recognized international programs, a wide variety of programs as well. Always get questioned about jobs. As you can, this will show you that we do have a very good track record with students finding jobs. I was just talking to Amanda and Eduardo about one of our graduates who just graduated from Brazil, who then went back to Brazil and was working with Equinor. We are running a Master Day virtual fair on February 1. One of the panelists is going to be for our employer panel with Yara International is going to be a graduate from our marketing program, and she is from Brazil, and she's now working with Yara. So we have some really good track records with international students being able to secure jobs not only here but also back home. And most of our graduates have jobs before they graduate, or if not, they are employed within 6 months of graduation. Here we also give you a sense from our graduate survey what the starting salaries are for students. And as you can see, we put it in reals here just to give you a sense of what that is per year. And they're very good salaries in terms of starting a salary. So your investment pays off quite quickly. Just a quick review of our programs. At the bachelor level, we have 3 English language bachelor programs, BBA, an internationally recognized degree, Bachelor of Business Administration. We also have a Bachelor of Data Science for Business, and we also have a Bachelor for Digital Business. So we have 3 programs. Eduardo is in the BBA, and he'll be chatting about that. And the way that it works is that if you studied at an international baccalaureate, you could come directly into our BBA program or our bachelor programs. If you've got a Brazilian high school education, you would also need a year of university to qualify in, or you can take our pathway program. And we have a partnership with Jönköping University in Sweden. Happy to talk a little bit more about that if you have questions. And we've had Brazilian students do both routes. We've had Brazilian students come directly from an IB program. Eduardo is one of them. We've had students go and do the pathway year in Brazil and then come to us for a 3-year program. And then we've also had some students who've done a year of university elsewhere and then joined us as well. Here are all of the admission criteria, and we are open for applications right now until March 1st. And then after that, we have rolling admission, but we do recommend that international students apply by March 1st, because that gives us time to get you the answer, get your housing lined up, get your study permit process started, and all of that sort of thing. As I mentioned, we have a pathway program. So this is for people who need a 4-year route to a bachelor program here, Brazilian high school, pathway, and then 3 years at BI. So you may be looking at doing a 4-year program in Canada or the US. It's the same thing. We can offer you a 4-year program here, but it means doing 1 year in Sweden and then 3 with us. I'm not going to go through this list of master's programs, but I think this gives you a sense of the diversity of the master's programs that we have here. And if you have a business degree, you essentially are eligible for all of these programs except our MSc in Data Science for Business. There you need a more STEM background, a technical background, engineering, mathematics, statistics. If you have an engineering, mathematics, statistics background, that's also good for business analytics or finance, any of our finance programs as well. If you have a social science background, psychology background, a communications background, you may be eligible for our leadership and organizational psychology program, any of our marketing programs. And we also have a brand new program in digital communication management. So rather exciting options here. We also have the MSc in business with many majors, 8 majors to choose from. These programs are all available at Campus Oslo, which is in the capital city. But we also have some programs at our campus in Bergen, which is on the west coast. If you're looking for a small class environment, very small class environment, a smaller city environment, then we also have these options available as well. The MSc in Leadership and Organizational Psychology is we always get more applications for seats than we have available, which is one of the reasons why we're now offering at a second campus. Here, you do need a GMAT or a GRE. You need an English language requirement, and then you also need a business degree. Everything is free to apply. There's no application fee. And you upload everything online, and we try to get you a decision within 4 weeks to 6 weeks. And again, the application deadline is March 1. Now, tuition. As I said, we do have an affordable option when you compare us to other opportunities that are out there from Triple Crown accredited schools in other countries. And I also know that the Brazilian culture likes to have things broken down by month. So we have quoted here some reals by month, so you get a sense of the monthly cost of tuition. So tuition ranges from 107 Norwegian kroners a year for masters and 89,000 for bachelor. And so you're looking at anywhere from 4,700 reals per month up to 6,000 reals per month. So that gives you a sense of what the costs are in terms for your tuition. One of the key things that we find that makes things a little bit easier for all international students is that we will guarantee you housing and student accommodation. That way you don't have to find your own place to live when you come. You apply through us by the deadline. You'll be assigned to a provider within the city. This means you need this address for your study permit, but more than anything, and this is reassuring to your parents as well, you have a place to live. You don't have to come here and try to find it on your own. Now, students tend to live in the student accommodation for their full time here. Other students will live there for the first year and then try to find something if they want to share a flat with some people in the second year. But you know, it is tough to find housing on your own in a major European capital city. You don't have to worry about that. Your parents don't have to worry about you worrying about that as well. We don't have an application fee, as I said. International students can work up to 20 hours a week, and the salaries for students is very good. You're looking at 160 Norwegian kroners per hour, which is about 100 reals per hour, which is a good wage. And I know that talking to international students in the past, that they have said that working up to 20 hours a week, 15 to 20 hours a week, they can cover most of their living expenses, not their tuition, but certainly their living expenses on working up to 20 hours a week. Once you have your residence permit, you are covered by the Norwegian healthcare system, so you don't need an additional health insurance. You do for the first semester that you're here, or until you get your social insurance number or your national identity number for Norway. But once done, you're covered by the Norwegian health system. And this year, because of the situation, anybody who needed a vaccination, whether or not they were covered, they got that for free in Norway, and free testing. That's all part of what's happening with the COVID situation. And you will need travel insurance, but that you will see, you would need that for any country that you choose to study in. We will walk you through the study permit process. We provide a lot of communication once you say I'm coming to help you with the study permit process. Of course, this will depend on your own situation, but all of the applications end up going through the visa center, but there's also a consulate in Rio that's very helpful, and they are very supportive of our efforts in Brazil. I'm now going to turn the floor over so you can learn a little bit more direct from the students. They're our best ambassadors, and they can share with you their experience. They have come and made the big leap to come to us in the middle of a global pandemic. We hope that it makes things a little bit different than it would have been in another situation. But one of the things is that coming to Norway is that last semester, we did have on-campus classes, lots of safety protocols in place to prevent the spread of COVID. But we have been able to have students in the classroom. We did have to move to digital exams. We're now digital right now, but as of January 31st, we're moving back into the classroom. So there's always, and our campuses have been open the whole time for students. So I'm going to turn the floor over to them, and I'm going to pour my Guaraná. So over to you, Eduardo.
Prazer, meu nome é Eduardo Mouta. Eu estou no meu primeiro ano do Bachelor em Data Science for Business. Antigamente, né, o nome era Business Analytics, mas esse ano mesmo mudou para Data Science. Estou no meu segundo semestre. Cheguei final ali da primavera, e agora já peguei um inverno brabo. Mas eu vou só fazer a apresentação aqui em inglês para não deixar a Shane de fora, né? So yeah, as I just stated, I'm a first year student. This is my second semester only. And I just want to give a bit of my experience, some technical information, some stuff I wish I'd known when I got here, just stuff that I had to find out on my own. And it's very convenient to have someone, spill you the beans. But also just tell a bit about how I've been feeling, what I've found of the university and Oslo in general, because you don't only come to study, you come to live in Oslo. So that's a big part. So as for practical information, I think BI is different in this case, where they have very few and short lectures. They'll have at most 2 lectures in a day. That spans from usually 10 to, let's say, 3 p.m. So you have most of the morning and a lot of the afternoon and the evening, where you're expected to do work outside of the lecture time. So I would say maybe more than half of your study you do on your own, which makes sense, because you're no longer in school. You're preparing for adult life, where you're going to have to bring the answers, and that's the teaching method, I'd say. Other than that, from what you're not getting from your lecture in person, there are online platforms with absolutely all the information. that you need and all the coursework and papers and materials. There's a library that's like 2 stories high in this in the 5th and 6th in BI, and those are great libraries. You can just show up, you can, borrow a book for a day, or you can borrow it for let's say 2 weeks. So you don't really need to keep buying and then reselling all your coursework, because that's not really necessary. I bought a book, I used it, but I didn't have to. I could have just lent it borrowed it from the library. That works as well. A lot of just seating areas, cool chairs and cushions that you can sit in and relax and, with your friends study. Very different, like separated rooms you can go to. Printers absolutely everywhere. You can buy all your coursework and materials you're going to have to use to study in BI as well. So it's just the whole university is all built around you and allowing you to perform your best and study at full capacity. But not only that, you're not just coming to study. So there's this beautiful national library towards the city center. So look, if you ever get bored of the same scenery at BI, or you just want to see something else, you want to play some chess because they have some chess boards, or, in this national library, you can ask for a book, and if they don't have it, they'll buy it just so you can borrow it. So that's something we'd never see in Brazil, but we have it here. So, just see a change in scenery. You're going to do a lot of studying, of course, because it's not easy, definitely. But the environment is just all built around giving you all the tools you'd ever need to succeed. And but you're not coming just to study. I will say myself, I've enjoyed my time here at least. So at BI, we have our own bar, Croa, and every Thursday beer is cheaper. So, and Thursdays usually are our last day of lectures. So, that's the Thursday event always. It's not up. It's obviously not open during exam week. You'll have your fair share of fun in Croa. But not only that, like not even like 50 meters away from BI, there's a cinema. And right after that, there's a little mall. Right next to BI, there's a subway station. So from there, you go absolutely anywhere. The price we expect of buses in Brazil does not correlate here, because the buses here really are top notch. They are perfectly on point. They'll take you absolutely everywhere. You just need the app. Everything here works in apps, emails. Expect things to take time. That's how it works here. Everything functions, but in their due time, you're going to have to be patient and lenient. Norwegians don't really work with phone calls the way we do in Brazil. If you call, you won't get much. So send the email, be patient, everything will work out. Norway provides absolutely everything you'd need. There's a grocery store or a convenience store in at least a 1 mile radius. There's at least one where you're staying. So it's just fine. Of course, the price does shock when you arrive. As soon as I got here, I was skimming through, what's the cheapest jam I can buy? But after a while, you just get used to it. You understand how that's just the way things work here. But it's a beautiful city. You can see some of my pictures I took. I arrived, let's say, maybe a month before lecture started, 3 weeks. So I just took my time to visit the city. So there's a statue of an elephant somewhere around Akerselva, which I think is the main river that flows down Oslo. To the right, that's a picture of me in the gym, because BI actually has a gym inside of it in the 2nd floor. So it's associated with CU, which is one of the housing providers, but still, just being a student, you pay a much lower fee than you would at any other gym. And it's inside the university. So you finish lectures, you go up or go down a floor, and you're in the gym you want to go to. The picture on the bottom left, that was during our scholarship celebration. We got to go to the top floor and then onto the roof. And you can't see it because it's very tiny, but at the very back of my photo, you can see Holmenkollen, which is this ski ramp, which to the photo on the right, that's me at Holmenkollen, where during winter, they actually do have events where people jump off that with ski, something I would never, ever consider doing, but they do it. And of course, when I went, it was still autumn. So last time I went, it was all snowy. And that picture of me where it says Rio de Janeiro, it shows the distance. That's in the ski mountain that is right near Holmenkollen. And of course, it's very close from here. Everything, you just put it on Router, which is a bus app. It's not just a bus app, it's the public transport app. So anywhere you want to go, just throw it on Router and you're good. But other than that, just be focused. If you're coming to BI, study hard. Professors are extremely well accomplished, and they know a ton of everything they're teaching. So of course the content is good, but you're going to have to put an equal amount of effort in. But so long as you do your best, you should be fine. Anything you need, just talk to people. Norwegians aren't known for being the most conversational, at least not sober, I'll say. But you'll definitely find your place and find your bearings, at least with the international students. And if any time you need help, I mean, everyone's here. If anything, you can just get my email, get my number, shoot me a message. I'm always here to answer for you, because I arrived, I was a bit on my own, even though I came with a friend. I was a bit lost from my bearings, but Oslo is a capital, but at the same time, it's so tiny that I'd say it's almost like living alone on easy mode, because everything's around you. They help you find your housing. I live like a 10-minute walk from BI. So if I forgot to buy a bus ticket, I can just take a 10-minute hike up to BI. And it's just a great environment to live in. Very safe, extreme, like worryingly safe. Because in Brazil, we're used to, at night, we hear someone behind us, we flinch. That's just a normal response. And here I had to get used to not doing it, because people would look at me like, why is he so flustered? Like, what's he so afraid of? But it's just, of course, it's cold, but it's just a different vibe. It's a different environment. When you come, you feel free, you feel motivated. And so long as you put your due effort in, you'll succeed. I guarantee it. And if anything, we'll be here for you.
Okay, that's me now. Então, vou me apresentar em português, depois eu falo inglês assim como o Eduardo. Sou Amanda, tenho 24 anos, eu estou fazendo mestrado em Strategic Marketing Management. Eu me formei no Mackenzie, em Publicidade e Propaganda, então você não precisa só diretamente no business. Você consegue se aplicar para o programa, mesmo não tendo um bachelor in business. So now I'm going to start speaking English so Chani can understand. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey to get to BI, because I got exactly on a student fair. I met a student assistant, and I never wanted, imagine going to Norway, and he actually talked to me about Norway and some things that I actually didn't know about it. So I met them at spring 2019, and for stayed talking to them for a year and preparing for my application, and then I applied at the beginning of 2020. And in 2020, I got accepted, and then COVID happened and I had to defer. So another year has passed, and then only in 2021, I got to go to Norway. So it was like a journey for 2 years trying to get to Norway. But Carlos, that was the student assistant I was talking about, and Shani always helped me and answer all my emails. So don't worry, you're gonna have help. Anything you need, you just email that people. Shani, can change the slides. So yeah, now I'm gonna my perspective on master is a little bit different, because master is really, really, really difficult. Don't go there thinking that's gonna be easy, because it's not. You're gonna need time to adjust. You're gonna need really a lot of time to study and understanding how things work. especially like moving from Brazil, and I stayed 2 years gap before my bachelor, after my bachelor's, only working. So I need to go back to study mode and understanding the study mode on Norway that's different from Brazil. So you're gonna need time to adjust. Don't think you're going and like everything's gonna be perfect. Studying like on a studying perspective, it's gonna be difficult. You're gonna learn how to study, and it's different. It's more academic than like a bachelor. So you need to read more. You need to write more research papers. So it's a little bit different. So you really need times to adjust. So go to Norway, go to BI, knowing that you're gonna need that time, and don't get scared at the first month, because if you get scared, everything gonna went down. Like, don't get scared. Things are gonna work out on the semester, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. Just if you know that in the beginning, it's gonna be way easier than it was supposed to be. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about Norway itself, because I think I'd rather talk everything about BI, and that would be like a little bit repetitive if I just talk about everything. BI is an amazing place. You have an amazing campus, you have a library, and you're gonna learn how to, you know that you're gonna stay a long time in the library, just studying and reading, and you have like readings for weeks. So every single week you have to read a lot of articles, so you don't have like time to say, you know, weekends you can go out, but weekday you need to like focus on studying. So you're gonna stay a long time in BI. Just get used to it. So in Norway, it's like, I think also need to adjust. Is a totally different culture. People are more private. They say they are cold. I don't think they are cold. They are private. So you need time to get close to them, and then when you get close to Norwegians, they are going to be really, really nice to you. So just like give time to them and keep being Brazilian. They are okay with that. Just they also need time for them to adjust to our Brazilian way. So it's always like two sides. You need to always remember their side and our side. So, but you can get like, you're gonna get Norwegian friends. But also BI is gonna give you a lot of opportunities to meet other students, especially international students. Our first week there, they will have like buddy week. So you can meet all your classmates and people for like alumni. So on the buddy week, you get like really close to a lot of people, and you get opportunity to be friends with them. You can see there on my slides that how we have a lot of friends, and we got gathering, because sometimes you don't have like a lot of time, and all students have like 1 weekend off, and then we go all together like for dinner, and I make Brazilian food and I make Thai food. So it's like have different things. So I have a lot of international friends. It's gonna be easy to make international friends, like really easy, because we are all in the same boat. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit like housing and Oslo itself. So I live in Krinsja. It's a student housing a little bit far away. I keep saying that I live in the middle of the woods, but it's not far away. That's the point. For Norwegians, it's far away, but for us Brazilians, like really close, because we have a subway, a metro in front of Krinsja, and it takes like 15 minutes to city center. And it's really, really fast and not crowded public transportation. You have buses, stops. So it's like, it's far away for Norwegians, but for us Brazilians, but like I'm from Brazil, from São Paulo. So it's really close. Everything's really close. So in Oslo, I think Shani already said it, it's a really small city for us, but everything a big city has, Oslo has. So you have like both, the best of both worlds. So we have like a small city and also all the things a big city has. And I live next to Sundsvall. That's a big lake and it's amazing. I love Sundsvall. And sometimes you're just like, I have nothing to do and I'm home. I'm just gonna walk around Sundsvall, and it's just like 5 minutes walk and you get to Sundsvall, and it's beautiful. I guess like Oslo itself, Norway has a lot of beautiful places, natural places. So you can like really, you get used to it sometimes. But if you stop to look at it, whoa, that's really beautiful. And it's amazing. Sometimes you just need like a break for studying and you just go to Sundsvall and you get like a 15 minutes walk. And then you go back and everything's gonna be better. It's really a really good place. And sometimes you can see the Northern Lights. I didn't have the opportunity yet. The Northern Lights doesn't like me. Every single time I'm not in Oslo, she appears. So Chani can change the slides, and that's gonna be my last one. It's a little bit about Oslo itself and healthcare. You can see on the photo on the right bottom, when I got in Oslo, I hurt my feet. It was like on the second week, so I didn't have like a visa yet. I had a visa, but I didn't have like the national ID. So I entered the hospital like expecting to pay a lot. And I paid for like this microsurgery, they call it. I spent like 400 kroners, that's less than 2,000 reais, and it was really, really cheap. And like, and everything was fast, and I just called them, like the helpline, and they say, oh, go to this hospital and then they're gonna help you. So the health insurance, it's even when you don't have the national ID number yet, you can get it anywhere. You're gonna have to pay, but then I had like health insurance before I get there, and then just give me my money back. But I just called them and just said, go to this hospital, and then everything works perfectly. Also, I got my second dose of vaccination there, so it was pretty easy. You just email them, get used to email everything, because everything works on email here. There's no, in Brazil, we have like WhatsApp, so you can talk to hospitals on WhatsApp. You can call them, and here it's just like email. Sometimes you can call, but it's not gonna be that much helpful. So just get used to email them. So I just emailed them and they just give me an appointment, and I got my second dose of vaccination, and perfectly. I didn't have the ID number yet, so, and nothing, was not a big deal. And also get used to, like, it's really expensive. So be prepared. So if you get here, like get there, because I'm in Brazil right now, but if you get there, prepare to expensive place, it's not going to be that expensive. If you go there thinking that's going to be the same prices in Brazil, that's not going to be really fun for you. So know that's expensive, but you also have work opportunities. So I, for instance, have a part-time job. It's not directly related to my program. So I work as a waitress, but still I have like a money coming in. So I worked in this November, I worked like less than 20 hours the entire month, and I got like my entire rent was paid. So you have a really good, even if it's not working directly on your area, you're gonna have like opportunities. So you can be a waitress and you get a really good salary. I have 176 crowns, so it's more than 100 reais per hour. So it's really good. You can have a job, and you can, in these jobs like waitress, you can choose when to work. So sometimes on the exam period, I just said I cannot work, and that was okay. So I choose actually working on this type of job right now in the first semester, just because I needed to adjust everything. And I also wanted a little bit more money. So in this one, I could choose when to work and when not to work. So if I have a really busy week, I just said I cannot work this week. And that's okay for them. You just need to tell them when you're available to work. So I guess that's it. I don't know if I need to do talking more. You're just gonna get used to the code. Shani said to us in the beginning that code is not actually code, it's just layers. You're not dressing properly. You're gonna learn how to do layers. You're gonna know how to dress properly on the code, but you got used to it. It's a really good place.
Well, there is a Norwegian saying, there's no bad weather, there's only bad clothing. And that is very, very true. And Norwegians embrace the cold. I'm just looking at your pictures here, Eduarda, and I'm sorry, Amanda. That's a wonderful picture of you up on the roof of BI with the sunset in the background.
Yes. That was also
fantastic.
a scholarship meeting.
Yeah. And we've had a couple of meetings with our scholarship students, and as Amanda said, the first semester is tough, but I promise you, Amanda, it won't be as tough this semester.
Yeah, no, it's already better. It's already getting better
this semester. The first semester is always the toughest.
Yeah, well, it's already getting better.
There you go. Good to hear. We really appreciate you joining us today. We really want to hear your questions now. I've put up some of our social media channels here. You can contact us at any time at info@bi.no. As mentioned, everything is done by email in Norway, and we try to get back to you as soon as possible. In addition to Amanda and Eduardo being open to questions from you, on our PR team and our marketing and recruitment team, we have a student from Brazil, so she's always open to chatting with you as well. And if there are any questions here now, Fernanda, we'd be glad to take them. I will mention though, on February 1st, 2002, we're having our virtual Master Day Fair. If you are interested in that, please go to our website and register, and you can talk to faculty, you can talk to students, and you can find out more details about all our master's programs. And our website is www.bi.no.
Okay, let's go through the questions. We have a question from Alex. Hi, can I find some help in gaining accommodation? Will I get via advice? I'm not sure where to begin.
Well, you definitely get help finding. You don't have to find your own accommodation. We have a housing office. You make your application by a certain date. You get that in. You will be given an option and we say sign up. You don't have to find your own place to live. There are a number of places around the city. Amanda and Eduardo, maybe one of you can say something about that process.
Yeah, I can speak for CU, the CU housing. It really, everything you do is online through their website, because I think you apply for either of the housing providers, BSN or CU, and then whichever one you get, you just go onto their website, and from there you just fill in everything they ask of you, and then when you have your housing and you are coming to Oslo, they have I forget the name, what it's called, a housing center or something. It's right near the University of Oslo.
Yeah.
So you just go there, you just wait in queue, you give them your information, and they'll give you a little envelope, and inside it'll have your house cards and everything you'll need for laundry. It has a little map on how to get to where you live.
Yeah. You do not have to worry about finding student accommodation. We will find you a place and provide assistance with that process.
Yeah, and BI is gonna help you a lot. They're just gonna tell you exactly what to do, like on emails, like do this, this, and this. You don't really have a lot of questions. They give you all the how to do and how to get your housing. So don't need to worry about it.
The next question, how is the situation in regards to COVID there? Can I get my vaccine on campus, or do I need to be vaccinated on arrival?
Certainly for getting into the country, it is recommended that you be vaccinated. It makes it a much easier process. You wouldn't have to quarantine. However, if you're not vaccinated, you would have to quarantine. But you do have access to the vaccination when you're here. As Amanda said, you got your second dose here.
Yeah.
And isn't the facility and the health facility right where you are living, Eduardo?
Yeah, I think they just closed and moved somewhere else. But when I arrived, I didn't have any of the jabs, because I was scheduled to get vaccinated August 28th, but I came August 8th, so over 2 weeks before. But as soon as I arrived, I just went in. I just showed up. Didn't even have my D number or residence card. Hadn't even gone to the police yet with anything. So I just gave them my student ID from BI, and they were like, "Yeah, here you go, vaccinated."
Yeah.
Now
and
they've already given me the physical certificate.
Okay.
This is the vaccination certificate. I don't have the online one yet because I don't have my D number, but still that's already enough for you.
Yeah, and the vaccination spot is just like mine. It was just in front of BI. So you just like I was on class and I was literally on 15 minutes break between one class and another, and I just go there and had like my shot, and it was really easy. And now that I have my ID number, it's everything digital. So I have the QR code on the app for HelseNord. So everything's digital in Norway. So you can get it.
Yeah, and the quarantine period that international students needed to do when they arrived, if they weren't vaccinated, or as when it was in August, almost everybody had to quarantine, was 2 weeks in a hotel, and BI covered the costs of those 2 weeks in the hotel, or the 10 days, I think it was. Yeah. And that will be the case going forward as long as it's mandated by the government, and you're required to go to a government mandated hotel. BI will be covering those costs.
Well, another question from Alex. Will I get a chance to network with future employers?
Yes. So, if I'm not mistaken, in the third year of the bachelor, as part of the course, we have an internship. So just from the internship, you'll most of the internships you'll see in internship websites like Glassdoor jobs. Most of them are for third year students, exactly because they're expecting these students who are in their third year who have internships as part of the core of the year's course. You go in and you work for them, you get the business experience you need, and from there you build your network. But other than that, I mean, BI is so well connected that every now and then you'll have panels from, I think just last week they had a panelist talking about financial investments, how to calculate investment risk. So just from there you meet someone new. So
yeah, and this year career day was digital, but usually every fall there's a career day with companies coming on campus looking to specifically recruit students for when they graduate. And certainly in our master's programs, internships are an integral part of all of our master's programs as well. So there's lots of opportunities and then there's lots of student groups that also bring in business people or have events with business people. So there's lots of opportunities to network.
Another questions for the students. Hi students, how was your studies during COVID? Are they online or the classes, and how do I meet new people?
Well, when we arrived, it was still a hybrid, so we could go to physical lectures, which definitely helps meeting people in person, because it's virtually impossible to connect with someone just on a Zoom breakout room, especially. So for this month we've been doing digital, but for the start we had physical lectures, and I mean, I can't say how you'll meet new people online, but before school starts, there's a day where you visit the campus, and they have hot dogs outside. At least they did on my day. They had hot dogs outside that you could eat for free. And then from there, you just spark up a conversation with someone. You get a new friend.
Yes. Yeah. And it's kind of, I went out to the lectures physically because I prefer. So, but you have two options. Always the lecture was streaming. But to meet new people, yeah, you're gonna give a lot of opportunities. You also have like, for instance, I met a lot of people in BI outdoor, so have organizations, and then you go out to somewhere in Oslo, so you get to know other people as well. Sometimes on the Norwegian classes, and another international on bachelors. That, for instance, I met a lot of people in bachelors on my Norwegian classes, so you're gonna have a lot of opportunities. Especially BI is gonna give you a lot of opportunities also.
Yeah. And so the hybrid situation was put in place that we really wanted everybody on campus to come on campus, but the hybrid situation was available for international students who were delayed coming to BI, so they wouldn't miss out on any classes just because of travel plans and quarantines and whatnot. And also we're following government guidelines. So if people aren't feeling well, they should be staying at home, but they're not sick enough to rally. They're not really sick, so they can be following classes online. We moved digital at the end of in December for exams. This semester, we started digitally, but starting January 31st, we'll be back to a hybrid model. So back on campus. But in the meantime, campus was open almost all the time for students to take advantage of the facilities on campus.
And our last question, what would you guys say was the best thing about Norway?
Good question. I'm Brazilian, but I kind of like this private culture they have. So sometimes I'm just sitting on the metro and people just don't sit next to you. They don't like it. So for me, that I actually don't like this. I love this private culture they have, this way of not minding your business. They mind their own business. So for me, I really like this side of the culture. So that's the best thing for me for Norway.
I think for me, it's just one of the main things that made me want to study abroad was living on my own. I was a bit sick and tired of living with my parents. And I'll say living alone in Oslo, it really is like living in easy mode. I have absolutely no worries. I don't need to worry about my housing, because I know they'll email me 3 times in the month if I forget to pay. I can pay with the money we deposited already. The bus is always on time, lectures are always on time, everything is structured and emailed. You have everything around you. So the only worries I have are, have I studied? And is Croa open as well?
And that's something I do hear from international students all the time, especially those from South America, where, because I worked a fair bit in South America, where, there's a lot of activity and everything is frantic, and you have to worry about things on time, and you have to worry about the traffic. Those are things you don't have to worry about in Oslo. You can bring your shoulders down, and as you said, concentrate on your studies. Things will work. It may take, you need to be patient, but things work. It's orderly. Things are going to happen. The bus is going to be on time. You're going to be able to get where you need to go, and it's safe. You can bring your shoulders down and concentrate on your studies and concentrate on making new friends, building your network, and enjoying your student experience. Oops.
Sorry. Oops. We'll finish now. Would you like to add anything else before we finish?
I just want to reiterate, do expect a culture shock, because it is a culture shock. It is absolutely different. The weather, how people relate and react to the weather. I see people running with the ground looks like an ice rink for how slippery it is, but they'll still be jogging and running with carrying a baby trolley as they're running in the middle of the snow, -5-degree weather. That's how it is. Things are more expensive. Going to a hairdresser or a barber is very expensive, hence the buzz cut from yours truly. But it's a very nice place to live.
Yeah, and I kept saying it's difficult, but I wouldn't really recommend to do it. I really like changes. So knowing that it's difficult, you're gonna make it you're gonna really easier living there. It's gonna be really easier. So it's difficult, but it's good. It's really good. And when you get a good grade, you say whoa, I got a good grade because I studied. So it's difficult, but it's really rewarding. So yeah, I really like it.
And I just like to end by saying that, I know that everyone is making decisions about this is a big decision to make. It's a life-changing decision where to study. But you've already made the first step in that that you want to go abroad. We know that Norway may not always be the obvious choice for everyone, but we also know at BI Norwegian Business School, we have a wide variety of programs, quality programs. We have an affordable option for you, and we are been delighted with the quality of the Brazilian students who have come to us, and we very much like what they bring to our campus, and we look forward to more. And contact us anytime at info@bi.no.
Okay, Shani, thank you so much for your presentation today, for answering all the questions posted here. Also, Amanda and Eduardo, thank you for your testimonial about studying in Norway. And also thank you everyone who participated today. See you in the next webinars. Bye-bye.
Obrigada.